Hello, and welcome to this tutorial where I will show you how to do rules above and rules below in your text. Sometimes we may want to, for graphics purposes, have a line that underlines or is above or sometimes even behind our text. InDesign gives us a line feature that we can use, but we have to manually position the line where we want it to be. However, there's a formatting feature called rules above and rules below that will allow us to put a text line right within our text and adjust it in any way that we see fit. To access it, it's not a tool that you would normally use in terms of it doesn't have its own palette. It doesn't have its own menu selection. You access it by opening your paragraph palette. You select the text you wish to affect. You go to the options in your paragraph palette and you select paragraph rules. You can access it also quickly by using Command Option J. When you select the paragraph rules, this dialog box appears. As with most of our features, you're going to want to make sure that you have the preview button selected so that you can see what happens. You also have to make sure that you've selected what you're manipulating. Do you want a rule above or do you want a rule below? Let's start with a rule below. You also have to turn the rule on. Simply selecting it does not give you the rule. So you must make sure that you have the box checked so that the rule is on. And as you can see, it's turned on a rule that's underlining my text. But I can manipulate the rule even further. For example, I can change the color of the text to whatever I want it to be. I can also change how long the text rule is. Column means it's going to be the length of the box, whatever size of the box is. So as you can see, the rule ends at the edge of the box. But I can select it to text and it will stop at the edge of where the text actually begins and ends. I can also change the type of rule that I want. By default, it's a solid black line, I'm sorry. But I can change it to a dotted line if I wanted, or any variation of lines that I want to choose from. It's important that you select a color and not the color of the text. When you select the color of the text, some of the features that you have offered become grayed out and you can't adjust them in any way. So I'm going to set this to black, and you can immediately see that the tint feature becomes available to me. Meaning that if I don't want this black and I want this a shade of gray, then I can select it and it will change it to a shade of gray. I can also adjust the thickness of the line through the weight. As I go smaller, the line goes smaller. I can also offset the line, meaning that right now, by default, the line is at touches the very bottom of the text. But if I want to push that away, I just increase the size of it and it pushes the line away. If I wanted to put a box behind this text, then I would go into negative numbers and then I could create a strikeout feature if I want, or another graphic effect. But I could also increase the size of the box if I wanted a box behind my text. we'll change our text to white so that you can see it when I click OK. I can also indent the text if I want, pushing it from the left side or the right side. So for now, we're going to click OK. And then when I click off my text, let's double check our adjustments. We'll set it to black. And actually, we're going to set it to 30% gray. And so now, when I click off of it, you can see I have my text adjusted with a box behind it. This eliminates me having to draw a separate shape behind the text and keep them aligned. And again, if I want to adjust the size of this text, then I will click, highlight my text, go back to my paragraph rules, and adjust my text accordingly. And so now I'm able to put a box behind the text or an illusion of a box behind the text without having two separate elements. If I want to change this, I'll highlight my text again, go back to paragraph rules, and I'm going to uncheck rule on, and it turns that off. If I want a line above the text, again, I'll select rule above, I'll turn the rule on, and just like before, I'll adjust the offset so that the text rule is above. And the adjustments work the same way. So that now, I'll set this to black instead of text color. I'll set it to a gray. And then when I hit OK and I click off, I now have a rule above. And this is how we use the rule above and rule below features in InDesign.